What's good, everyone? This is Artist of Truth, and welcome to another vlog entry. So, without further ado, I want to get started on this. Hope you all don't mind. I'm on my watermelon juice today. Shout out to my life partner for making this happen. Before I get started, I know many of you are probably wondering. It's like, yo, Phil, what are you smoking? I was like, this one right here. This is Red Runts. This is Red Runts right here. So let me go ahead and touch on this topic real quick. What constitutes a man being viewed and considered as a high valued man, right? Okay. So, I've heard a plethora of different variations of what ladies think a high valued man is, and even some guys who think the same way. And, first and foremost, Uncle Phil loves y'all. I'm not here to hate on anyone. I just don't have that in me right now. This is a very, very serious and yet informative, topic, because I want my brothers, I love you guys. Trust and believe I do. I don't want you to think I don't. I love my brothers. I have appreciation for my brothers. Those guys who are being stand-up gentlemen in the community. Those guys who are operating with a level of honor and integrity, respect about themselves. Those brothers who are being stand-up fathers, father figures, big brothers. You're just doing your part and just being honorable the best way you can. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. So, here's my take on the whole high valued man. When I asked this question about what is a high valued man, there were different responses that I received. But one thing was very, very common amongst the different variations of opinions, and that was the man's finances. Like, in order for you to be viewed and considered as a high valued man, your finances has to be, A1. You got to be bringing in six figures every year. You got to be, you have to have a certain type of career field. That was like the first. And then it was like, what you invested in and what you own and a plethora of other things, right? Okay. But it was one thing that left Uncle Phil slightly perplexed, and that was, where's the honor? Like, if I consider myself a high valued man, but it's not about my finances, because my finances do not validate who I am as a man. So when we get into these conversations about, oh, you think you're a high valued man, it was like, yeah, I consider myself and I identify as a high valued man because of my integrity, my honor, the respect that I have, not only for myself, but for those who are, who are in my circle, or maybe not even in my circle. I just operate differently, and for women, some women will actually say this, but would actually say, oh, that's a high value man. You have to make X amount of money every year. Baby, that's That should never be the first thing come out of your mouth. My brothers, that should never be the first thing coming out of your mouth is about your finances. Because your finances do not define your character and who you are as an individual. You can be a multi-millionaire, but if you don't stand on a level of honor, that shit don't mean nothing. It really doesn't. It holds no value. And I try not to get into that conversation, but just here to drop a couple of gems. You got to remember, when folks out here holding stacks of 20s or $100 bills upside their head, like, ooh, that's a big thing. Let me inform y'all goofy as y'all look, because those are Federal Reserve notes. They're not backed by gold and silver. It's just like you playing with Monopoly money, player. So you've been warned. I mean, shit. Some of these cats out here think they really doing something, but you really not. You really not. But where's the honor? Like, my brothers, where's the honor? Where's the honor? If you honor your temple, you honor yourself, you honor your children, you honor your relationship, and you move with a level of integrity, honor, and respect about yourself, you are now a high valued man. I just want to let you know that. Regardless of what anyone else says. Because one thing that can be taken and one thing that can't be taken. Wealth can be taken away. Just like that. But your integrity, your honor, and what you stand on, nobody can take that from you. Nobody can take that from you. High valued men, I consider, in my opinion, was like Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Brother King, Stokely Carmichael, Huey P. Newton. I'm talking about men of true honor. They couldn't be bought now. They couldn't be bought. They stood on honor. And the funny part about it is, if you mention any of those gentlemen's names, even to this day, they weren't, a lot of them, they weren't multi-millionaires. Their value stood in their character, who they were, and how they presented themselves and projected themselves out into the world, made them high-valued men. So, in closing, the next time, my brothers, the next time a lady asks you, oh, you think you consider yourself a high-value man, just politely say, you damn right. Well, you don't have the resources, you don't have the finances. I was just like, if none of us had finances, what could you determine? How could you go about determining if a man is high valued if the wealth was taken away? See, what I've learned is we as people, we put energy into things that have zero value. You think I'm lying? What is $100 actually backed by? Nothing. It's just like Monopoly money. It has no value except the value that you put into it. So, going forward, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you get into that conversation, pay attention to one thing. And that is, who's going to say, stand in honor, be respectful of self and those around you, because those characteristics really and truly determine the value of a man. not his finances. Remember, Uncle Phil loves you, baby.